right, so we have gram and we have mole. That came off the term molar mass. Okay, so what in the world does that mean? That means that we can determine in 1 mole how much does it weigh. How much does 1 mole of a certain substance weigh? Now let's talk about this word mole. Have we talked about her before? Him? They? No? Okay, a mole represents 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd.
That's a big number.
Yes, it is. Molecules or atoms. So something that a lot of students think is that on the periodic table, when you see a mass, that represents how much one atom of an element weighs. That's not true. That represents how much 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms weigh. Y'all realize how big that number is? I'm gonna show you. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That's how many zeros that is. It's not, yeah, it's just 6 tuplets, 6 tillion or something like that. It's just an incredibly large number. I wish I had that much money for sure. But this represents how much 1 mole, how much 1 mole weighs. Any questions about that? Now, why am I re-emphasizing this? Great question. Here we go. When we're working in the lab, sometimes we're given grams of something, and sometimes we're given moles of something. And we need to be able to go back and forth. So looking at this sheet, everybody should have this sheet. Looking at this sheet, at first it wants us to review how to do molar mass. We know how to do molar mass at this point. And if we don't, we need to go back and do the homework from like 4 weeks ago. Okay? This part down here, we're going to start with number 1. How many moles are in 15 grams of lithium? All right. So we need to go from grams to moles. So that is our conversion that we need to do. So in your lab book, we're going to write number 1. Number 1. And we're going to write our given. And you have to write your given each time. Not a drill. This is real. If it's real, it is me. Okay. What amount did they give us in this question? 15 what? Be specific. Of lithium. Good. 15 grams of lithium. That is our given. What are we looking for? Or, as I like to say, what do we need? Read the question. It says how many what?
How many moles?
Moles. So we need moles of lithium. Everybody okay up to that point? We need moles of lithium. Now, like any good conversion table, we're going to start with what we know. And we're going to start with what we've been given, and that's 15 grams of lithium.
Oh, did we do this before?
We did. I love that moment. I finally feel like I figured out the order to teach you guys this stuff in. It's taken me a while, but I think I figured it out. Okay, does anybody remember the 1 rule of conversion tables? Good answer. It has to cancel diagonally. So if I have grams of lithium right there, what do I have to have in the basement? Grams of lithium. Now, when grams are involved, I have to have moles of the same compound in that house. Now, what do you mean by houses? This right here is a house. Why is it a house? Because it's on top of each other. Okay, like little bunk beds. Now, I see moles and what else in this house?
Lithium.
Grams. Yes, lithium. But we have moles and we have grams of lithium in the same house. That means that my conversion factor for this is going to be what uses grams and moles. What do we know that uses grams and moles? The molar mass. The molar mass. Remember, the units for molar mass are G/mol. So it uses the molar mass. Well, where do you find the molar mass? What tool do you have to use to find the molar mass?
Periodic table.
The periodic table. So I like to put a PTO right there. Periodic table of elements. That's what PTO means. Now, what is the mass of lithium on the periodic table? Is your periodic table? Anybody need one?
6.94.
1 vote for 6.94. 1 vote for cell phone. 1 vote for need a periodic table. 2 votes for need a periodic table.
6.94.
Oh, you're good? Perfect. Anybody else need a periodic table? All right. What is the mass of lithium? Yell it out. Yell it proud.
6.94.
6.94. And that represents the number of grams in 1 mole of lithium. In 1 mole of lithium. Now, I needed moles of lithium, and I have moles of lithium on top, so I can stop. Okay? So now I need to do my mathy math. We're going to multiply the numbers across the top and divide by the numbers on the bottom. So draw you like an X right there, and draw you a division symbol right there. Multiply across the top, divide by the bottom. Now on your calculator, let's do it together. Get your calculator, because remember, we're not using our phones for calculators. Calculatory boards. Who needs a calculator? Everybody has one? All right, so on our calculator, we are going to do 15 times 1 divided by 6.94. Enter.
2.161383285.
So
Good.
2.16.
So we're going to worry about 2 decimal places. So it's going to be 2.16 units. What are my units? Well, my units are what's left over. Grams canceled with grams, and I'm left with moles. Good. Mole of lithium.
Wait, why is that canceled out?
Because when you divide, you canceled out those units.
Oh, okay.
Mole of lithium. 2.16 moles of lithium. Make sure you have everything written down and your final answer. Box it. Are you ready to try number 2? Thumbs up? Yeah. All right, here we go. Number 2. All right, somebody read number 2 to me.
How many grams are in 2.4 moles of sulfur?
Beautiful. How many grams are in 2.4 moles of sulfur? What is my given for number 2? Good job, team. We made it there. We did. 2.4 moles of sulfur. What is my need? What am I looking for?
Grams.
Grams of sulfur. Grams of sulfur. All right. Now, let's set up our T-table. You ready? What do we always start with?
The given.
The given. So we have 2.4 moles, good job, moles of sulfur in our top left box. Now this also determines what I have in my bottom right box. What units are going to be in my bottom right box? Mole of sulfur. Now, peep game, I see that I need grams of sulfur. And since sulfur is in both, I can go ahead and have grams of sulfur on top. Now, if this were grams of oxygen, moles of oxygen, I couldn't put grams of sulfur on top. That doesn't match. They don't want to be in the same house like that. Okay? When it's grams and moles, they have to match compounds. So now we have what we need on top, so I can stop. So now let's look at what our houses need. I have one house here. What 2 units are in my house?
Grams and moles.
Grams and moles. What conversion factor uses grams and moles?
Molar mass.
The molar mass. So I'm going to use the molar mass to complete my, fill in my spaces here. I would literally draw this house and put molar mass underneath it if you need to. Okay? Now, how do I find the molar mass? What tool do I use? The pitot. All right, so looking at my pitot, what's the mass of sulfur? 32.07. And how many moles? It's a tough one, but you got it. What is it? It's going to be 1 mole. Anytime grams are involved, the unit states grams per mole, meaning grams per 1 mole. So anytime grams are involved, it's going to be 1 mole. All my missing spaces are filled in, so let's multiply and divide. Woo, woo, woo. No. No. I got excited to multiply? No. Okay. Here we go. 2.4 times what?
32.07. Divide by 1.
Good job. Divided by 1, and that gives us
76. No, 77.
Ooh, I like your effort.
Yeah.
It's going to be 2 decimal places.
77.9.
So it's going to be 76.97. Because that 6, 8, that 8 forces that 7 up, that 6 up to a 7. So it's 76.97. You round it to 2 places. You round it to the 1's place. Grams of sulfur. That was a good one. Did you have fun? You want to try another one? Let's do it. Number 3. Can I move this up, or do you still need it?
Move it up.
Move it up. Move it up, Shaggy. I feel like Scooby-Doo would say something like, does Scooby-Doo talk? That was good. How many moles are in 22 grams of argon? All right, this is number 3. What have I been given?
Given 22 grams of argon.
Good. What do I need? Of
Argon.
argon. You see how it's not mentioned? That means that it's assumed that it's the same compound. So moles of argon. All right, I need to convert something because I got grams of argon and moles of argon. So let's start our T-table. What do I always start off with?
The given.
Good. 22.
22 grams of argon.
Yep. T-table. Because I have grams of argon up here, what do I have to have in the basement next door?
Grams of argon.
Grams of argon. And because grams of argon are involved, what has to be on top?
Moles of argon.
Moles of argon. I needed moles of argon, and I have that on top so I can stop. So we're going to look at our houses. I have this house right here, and the 2 units in this house are moles and grams. That means that I'm going to use my periodic table to determine my molar mass. What is the mass of argon? 39.95. 95 grams per how many moles? 1. What are your questions for this? Any questions up to this point?
Wait, so
I got you next. Go ahead.
so the mass always has to go for the grams?
Correct.
Okay.
And it's going to be 1 mole whenever grams are involved.
I put 1 mole and 30 in the thing.
Ooh, good catch, good
Correct.
catch. Did you put 39.95
Oh,
moles?
never mind. I put mole at the bottom.
Oh, remember they got to cancel out.
Yeah.
What you got?
I kind of had the same thing. Like I put like 39 up top. Where one is.
Oh, okay. Right, and that's why I always want y'all to remember to cancel out your units, right? So grams has to cancel with grams. That's why we have mole on top. So don't get attached to one being on top and one being on the bottom. Get more attached to making sure that they cancel out diagonally.
So will it always be like 1 mole?
It will always be 1 mole when grams are involved. When grams are in the same house as moles, it will always be 1 mole. Grams per mole. All right, what do I do now?
You multiply and divide.
Good, multiply and divide. Let's do the mathy math.
I have 0.55 moles.
That's correct. 22 times 1 divided by 39.95. 2 decimal places, so 0.55 units.
Moles are the total.
Yep. Yep. Moles of argon. Yep. Of our googly wooglies. Yes. I like that. I prefer that. All right. How do you feel about this? Easy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's complicate it. So, sorry. I'm sorry. Flip over the page to number 9.
How many grams
Multiply
are
across the top, divide by the
4.5
bottom.
moles of sodium
So you're
fluoride?
multiplying these two, and then divide by whatever number's on the bottom. Good question. Very good question. All right, let's amp up the party. All right, look at number 9. Those of you who like your problems to be in order, I'm sorry. Not in order. Okay. Look at number 9. Somebody read number 9 to me. It's on the back.
How many grams are in 4.5 moles of sodium chloride?
9. All right, here we go. What is my given?
4.5 moles.
4.5 moles of sodium fluoride. NaF. Doesn't this look awfully familiar? Because literally you're doing the same thing. What are we looking for? Uh-oh, I forgot the word given. Is that what you said, Jesse?
Huh?
Did you say you forgot the word given? Oh, well, let's pretend like you don't. Okay, I have no clue. What do we need? Grams of NaF, or sodium fluoride. All right, here we go. Start with your what? Given. And now because we have moles of NaF on top, what do we have to have downstairs next door? Mole of NaF. Okay. Now that I have moles of NaF, what's gonna go on top of moles of NaF? Grams of NaF. Leave some room because she might be thick. We don't know yet. Grams of NaF. Grams of NaF. Now, I have what I need on top, so I can stop. Thought that was going to be a cool little moment there. It's okay. All right, let's look at our houses. I have one house right here. What units are involved in this house?
Sodium and fluoride.
All right, what units? Those are elements.
Grams and moles.
Grams and moles. What conversion factor uses grams and moles?
Molar mass.
Molar mass. So now I'm not just finding the molar mass of a single element, I'm finding the molar mass of a compound.
Well, so molar mass is the same thing as atomic mass, right?
Yes and no.
Because wasn't it like when we labeled it atomic mass?
Yes, molar mass. Okay, so molar mass is thinking in terms. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is also no because atomic mass implies the average atomic mass, and that takes into account all the different versions of an element. Okay? And the different versions have different numbers of neutrons, which make them weigh more or weigh less. So that's why carbon is 12.01 and not just 12, because you have things like carbon 14. You ever heard of carbon 14?
No.
Carbon 14 is what you use to date dinosaurs and stuff. So, anyways. So now we need to find the molar mass of NaF. Well, we know how to do that.
Yep.
Write out your elements. Find the mass on the periodic table. What's the mass of sodium?
22.99.
Good. What's the mass of fluorine?
19.00.
Multiply and add, and what do you get as your total molar mass here?
You get. Oh no. Wait, hold up.
Oh, the pencil weirdness, Taylor.
Hmm?
Oh, the pencil
You do,
weirdness.
and it stresses me out, but I've been wanting to not notice it and or point it out to you because I figured if you made it this far, you'd be okay. Stresses me out.
436.81.
Say it again.
436.81.
Did you add them?
41.99.
41.99. You took a step ahead, and we're going to take that number in a second. So, watch where I write this number and tell me if I'm right.
No.
No.
No. Where does that number go?
On the
Goes
top.
top.
Grams.
It goes with grams. Man, I tried to trick you, but I couldn't.
Nope, just for-
Yep, too smart. All right, 41.99 grams. How many moles?
One.
And guess what? Same math. Multiply across the top, divide by the bottom.
You not round up to 9 because you need like the 2 decimal spots.
We aren't going to round to the very end. The very end. That's when we round. Unless you're Iggy.